We're live.
Thank you. Sergeant, can you please start your recording?
PC is up.
Cloud is done. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's remote New York City Council vote of the Committee on Environmental Protection. At this time, would all panelists please turn on your video? To minimize disruption, please place electronic devices to vibrate or silent. If you wish to, thank you for your cooperation. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Gennaro, Chair of the Committee on Environmental Protection. Today we'll be voting on three bills. Two bills that will reduce unnecessary illumination on city-owned and controlled buildings, and one bill that will ban the use of natural gas in new buildings. All this legislation will help us to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, reduce our greenhouse gases, and transition to a sustainable future. Reducing unnecessary illumination across a city is not simply a matter of energy usage and carbon emissions. According to the Audubon Society, New York City is located at a point of concentration on the Atlantic Flyway bird migration route. Twice a year, migratory birds fly along this path northward toward breeding grounds in spring and south towards warmer climates in the fall. The city's wide variety of habitat types do attract many migratory species to the area for resting and nourishment along their journeys, leading to Jamaica Bay being designated a high priority global important bird area by BirdLife International and the Audubon Society. Unfortunately, the city's brightly illuminated buildings have the potential to significantly disrupt flight routes and can cause disorientation and wasted energy resources as birds fly in confusion. This wasted energy can lead. Can't wait to read the rest of this statement. So far, can read directly to bird fatality. Terrible, resulting in fewer birds able to complete their journey successfully. Today, the council will act to protect the hundreds of birds that use the Atlantic Flyway for migration. We're going to hear from Helen about this. We'll also hear we will hear and vote on Intro 271A, one of the lighting bills, which will reduce unnecessary illumination on city-owned and city-owned spaces by creating a phased timeline, stipulating that 50% of city-owned and city-controlled buildings comply with occupancy sensor installation requirements by 2020, 80% by 2025, and 100% by 2030. This bill would also require the Department of Citywide Administrative Services to submit an annual report to the mayor and the speaker of the city council outlining changes in the number of covered buildings, percentage of compliant buildings, and the number of buildings that became compliant in the previous calendar year. This local law would take effect immediately. We'll also hear and vote on Intro 274A, which mandates that city-owned buildings turn off non-essential outdoor lightings between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. during peak avian migration periods from April 15th to May 31st, and again from August 15th through November 15th of each year. This local law will take effect immediately. Finally, we will vote on Intro 2317A, which would prohibit the combustion of any substance that emits 25 kilograms or more of carbon dioxide per million BTUs of energy as determined by the U.S. Energy Information Administration in any newly constructed building, and also would direct the Commission of Buildings to deny construction documents and permits in connection with a building that would require the combustion of these substances, with exceptions for emergency standby power, a hardship preventing compliance with the bill, where the combustion of the substance is required by certain enumerated industries, and where the combustion of the substance is used on an intermittent basis in connection with a device that is not connected to the building's gas supply line. This bill would further require the Mayor's Office of Long-Term Planning and Sustainability to conduct two studies. One, a study regarding the use of heat pump technology, and two, a study of the impact of this bill on the city's grid. This local law would take effect immediately. I would like to thank the most terrific staff of the committee who have done such great work over the years. Counsel to the committee, Samara Swanson, policy analyst Nadia Johnston, Ricky Chawla, and financial analyst Jonathan Seltzer. And finally, my legislative director, who does great work, Navi Kaur, for their hard work. And it's not in the statement, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank Jeff Baker in a special way. All the late nights that led up to 2317A and the very intense negotiations on that bill, it was a hard bill to negotiate it and get it just right, but we struck that balance, and I thank Jeff in a special way. Now, the prime sponsor of 2317 is Councilmember Ampry Samuel. It's not in the statement, I just know that. And I know that Helen is either 271A or 274A. One is Helen, one is Brandon. And when we bring Helen on, she will tell us all about that. Let me just recognize some of the council members that are here. We already know, I've already been going back and forth with Councilmember Diaz. Everyone knows she's here. Councilmember Rosenthal. I saw Steve Levin. There's Councilmember Reynoso, I see on the Councilmember Barron is on. Now I see Steve, and I think I've covered everyone. And with that, it is my privilege to recognize Councilmember Rosenthal for a statement, and she will tell us whether she is the prime sponsor of 271A or 274A. Okay.
Right.
Helen, you're on.
Much. Thank you so much, Chair Gennaro. I really appreciate you and appreciate your leadership on this committee. My bill, which is 0274-A, complements Councilmember Brannon's bill. So together, they're basically going to end having illumination outside city buildings during peak migratory time. And, according to the Audubon Society, between 90,000 and 230,000 migrating birds die from
Sergeant, if I could just jump in for a second. Sergeant, we seem to have some background noise. Someone's on the phone or something.
Oh,
I know it's not.
Me. No, there's
I'm sorry.
Where I am. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's just, as long as it's you, I didn't want you to be interrupted. But if you're interrupting yourself,
I'm afraid
knock yourself out. Yeah.
No, I mean, if it's too loud, I can walk
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just didn't want, it was for your sake that I was doing it. Yeah.
I appreciate you as always. So anyway, hundreds of thousands of birds are killed every year because of the lights, because New York City is right in the path for these migrating birds. So we're going to, meaningfully impact those, have a decrease in those numbers. This year in particular, we lost hundreds and thousands of beautiful yellow songbirds, which was heartbreaking. For those of you who are interested in helping track this information, you can go onto the Audubon Society's website and download an app, and you can help the Audubon Society track when you find dead birds. But the numbers should be going down tremendously over the next few years, which is great. My office is right next door to the Wild Bird Fund, where every year at these 2 times of the year, people come in with birds that have been stunned and have fallen to the ground, have been stunned. And actually the Wild Bird Fund can give information about how to revive the birds. Oftentimes they're stunned, they're not dead. So a lot of people care deeply about this issue. I'm so proud to be the sponsor of one of these bills. I really want to thank Samara Swanson, who has worked on these and other bills tirelessly for so many years. It's just been a pleasure working with you. And of course, thank former council member Costa Constantinides, who has led so much on these issues, and to Jeff Baker and to all the committee staff and And to the sergeants here, thank you so much for all of your support, assistance. Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councilmember Rosenthal. You made a great contribution here. It was a very, it was a very, pardon the pun, it was a very illuminating hearing, hearing all of the, stories of bird strikes and the impact of lighting and how they can confuse. And at the end of the day, we're talking about city-owned buildings here, so there's no reason whatsoever why the city shouldn't step up on it in its own buildings and make sure that it does the right thing. And because of this bill and its companion bill by Councilman Brannan, that will be the case. So this is really a great day and for birds. Does anyone else wish to be heard before I ask the clerk to call the roll? Seeing no one else wishing to be heard, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on all items which will be coupled.
Thank you and good afternoon. This is the Committee on Environmental Protection. Roll call vote on proposed intros, 271A, 274A, and 2317A. Chair Gennaro.
Aye.
Councilmember Levin.
Steve.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to vote aye on all, and I'd like to sign on to every bill being heard today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Councilmember Menchaca.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you to Councilmember Helen Rosenthal. During COVID, I feel like one of the things that I got kind of reconnected to as a Boy Scout, as an early Boy Scout back in my youth, was bird watching. And I feel like this bill has had multiple multiple conversations about it, and my district really came together and sent me a lot of messages about it. Of course, I said I'm supporting it from the beginning, but it was not easy to get these bills done in these last 6 months. Helen understands that. Not all the bills that we wanted to get done got done, but I'm glad this one did. Thank you, Helen, from the bottom of my heart, and all of the people in my district that emailed me about this, and to all the birds that I do see dead. I think about what we're going to do today, and I'm thankful. Thank you, Helen. I vote aye.
Thank you, Councilmember Menchaca. I'm sorry I didn't see you on the screen when I read out the council members before. I don't think
that's okay, Chair. It's all good. I still love you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate your valuable contribution to this committee. And thank you for your kind statement towards Helen and all the good work that she's done.
Councilmember Darma Diaz.
Yes, and it's been a pleasure. I think it's officially my last hearing, my last vote as a council member, and there's no greater pleasure than closing out my voting with Chair Gennaro. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Darma. And on that really sweet note, but we're going to see you tomorrow, Darma. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll see you tomorrow.
As far as voting on committees, this is it. This is this should be it. I expect this to be it.
Okay, I look forward to seeing you and everyone else tomorrow. With that, this hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
Actually, I don't think I got the opportunity to vote.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Reynoso. Sorry. It's okay.
Oh my goodness. I was just about to line up Gennaro being the kindest chair I've ever met in my life.
Oh my God.
But I'm not even gonna make that statement anymore.
No,
I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote.
Why should you? I blame the clerk. I'm blaming the clerk.
No, I want to be added on to all the bills. I vote aye, and Gennaro, you're truly like a ray of sunshine, positive energy that is all too needed in this type of work. So I want to thank you for how you chaired it. Congratulations to Councilmember Helen Rosenthal, and please add me to all the bills. I think this is a great day for this committee and for New York City today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. A pleasure. And, sorry about that, but it looked like we're all one family now. Everybody together, and we got Steve's child in the picture as well. And so that makes it even sweeter. Okay, so for the second time.
Wait, Jim, wait,
Um,
hold on.
what?
I just want to second Antonio's remarks and say just categorically what a delight it is to have you back in the council chairing this committee. You're one of the best in the whole world.
Thank you, Steve. And after all I said about one of your bills recently, you're so nice to say that, you know. I went after Steve on one of his bills, like Gennaro style, you know, and he took him like a champ, and look how sweet he's being. So thank you, Steve. So I
Chair
really
Gennaro?
appreciate that.
Chair
Yes.
Gennaro, I just wanted to let you know that the items were adopted by a vote of 4 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 2 abstentions. Thank you, sir.
Of course they were. Who would vote against this? Of course. But thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Clerk. Okay, so I'm going for I see this is my gavel. I have my gavel at home, so I can, like do it like officially. So with that, this hearing is officially adjourned. It's been